Have you ever walked past a statue and felt like its eyes were following you? It's a common, slightly spooky feeling. But what if I told you there are stories, even videos, of statues that don't just seem masters to move, but actually do? Today, we diving deep into the mystery of statues that move on their own, myths or real phenomena. Let's start with a famous case from 2013 at the Manchester Museum in England. An ancient Egyptian statuette, only about 10 inches tall and dedicated to a man named Nebseni, started to rotate inside its sealed glass case. Museum staff were baffled. They set up a time-lapse camera, and the footage was astonishing. Over several days, the statue slowly turned a full 180 degrees. It would move during the day but stay still at night. The media went wild. Was it the curse of the pharaohs, the spirit of Nebseni restless in his tiny stone body? Experts from around the world weighed in. Physicists, Egyptologists, and engineers all had theories. Some suggested a supernatural explanation, while others looked for a more down-to-earth cause. So, what was the verdict? Physicist Brian Cox, a well-known science communicator, proposed a theory called differential friction. He suggested that the tiny, almost unnoticeable vibrations from visitors' footsteps walking past the display case were causing the statue to slowly pivot. The base of the statue and the glass shelf it sat on weren't perfectly smooth. This slight unevenness meant that as the case vibrated, the statue would minutely slip and turn, always in the same direction. Why did it only move during the day? Because that's when the museum was open and full of people walking around, creating those subtle vibrations. At night, when the museum was empty and still, the statue remained motionless. The museum staff tested this theory, and it held up. Mystery solved. A fascinating physical phenomenon, not a paranormal one. But the Egyptian statuette is just one example. Let's travel to a small town in Sicily, Italy. In 1953, a simple plaster plaque of the Virgin Mary, owned by a couple named Angelo and Antonina Iannuso, reportedly began to weep tears. Witnesses flocked to see it, and the phenomenon was reported to have happened multiple times over several days. The local church took this very seriously. They investigated, collecting a sample of the liquid. A scientific analysis confirmed that the composition was analogous to human tears. This was a huge deal. Unlike the Manchester statue, a simple physics explanation didn't seem to fit. So, what happened? The Catholic Church officially recognized the Weeping Madonna of Syracuse as a miracle. The event drew massive crowds and strengthened the faith of many. To this day, the shrine housing the plaque is a major pilgrimage site. Skeptics, however, propose other ideas. Some suggest it could be a case of condensation, where moisture from the air collected on the statue's cool surface and dripped down from the eyes. Others speculate it might have been a hoax, though no proof of trickery was ever found and the family seemed genuinely sincere. In this case, the answer depends entirely on what you choose to believe, a scientific anomaly or a divine sign. Let's look at another type of moving statue, the kind that changes over time. Not just in a few days. The Great Sphinx of Giza is one of the most iconic statues in the world. For centuries, people have been captivated by its mysterious expression. But did you know that its face has likely changed over the millennia? We often see the Sphinx as it is now, weathered and missing its nose, but originally it was painted in bright colors, and its features would have been much sharper. The primary movement or change here is caused by erosion. For over 4,500 years, the Sphinx has been battered by wind, sand, and changing temperatures. This natural process has slowly worn away the limestone, softening its features and altering its appearance. Some theories, though not widely accepted by mainstream Egyptologists, even suggest that the head of the Sphinx might have been recarved from a larger, original hand? Perhaps that of a lion? If true, that would be a different kind of movement, a deliberate change made by human hands thousands of years ago. So, the Sphinx moves not by itself, but through the slow, relentless forces of nature, and possibly the actions of our ancestors. From moving Buddhas in Asia to shifting Christian icons in Europe, stories of animated statues are found in cultures all over the globe. So, what's behind this universal fascination? It might tap into a deep-seated psychological concept called pareidolia, which is our brain's tendency to see patterns, like faces, in random objects. This is why we see animals in clouds or a man in the moon. When we look at a statue, which is already a representation of a living being, our brain is primed to see signs of life. A trick of the light, a shadow shifting, or even a smudge on the surface can be misinterpreted by our minds as a subtle movement, a blink, or a change in expression. We are hardwired to look for agency and intention, even where there is none. These stories aren't just about whether a statue physically moved. They are about what that movement represents to us. In the case of the Manchester statuette, it was a fun puzzle for science to solve. For the Weeping Madonna, it was a profound symbol of faith and hope for millions. For the Sphinx, it's a powerful reminder of the passage of time and the forces of nature. Ultimately, whether these statues move due to subtle vibrations, condensation, erosion, or something beyond our current understanding, they capture our imagination. They force us to ask questions about the line between the world we can explain and the one we can't. They are where science, faith, and psychology all meet. So, the next time you feel a statue's gaze upon you, take a moment. You might be experiencing a trick of the light, the power of your own mind, or maybe, just maybe, you're witnessing the start of the next great mystery. What do you think? Have you ever seen something you couldn't explain? Let me know your thoughts and stories in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And if you enjoyed this journey into the world of mysterious phenomena, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks for watching.